I remember I was disappointed when I saw this series. It has 3 episodes, and it should be half and half. First part of Little Woman, and the other part 2 of Little Woman. But this one has 2 episodes dedicated for the first part and 1 episode for the second part. So the ending feels very rushed.
They should have done 2 episodes for both parts.
I did feel a bit that the script writer kind of ruined this adaptation for me. People really underestimate how much what the actors say or what the director says or the scriptwriter says. Those things really affect the way people see the adaptations. I read an interview from Heidi Thomas, the scriptwriter, and she said that she never understood why Jo rejected Laurie and why she married Professor Bear, who, quote, stopped her becoming a writer. And I'm like, did we read the same book? Friedrich in the book is literally the one who helps Jo to become a writer. But that ruined the entire series for me. It is really sad because there was so much potential.
I didn't know that is how the scriptwriter felt. I always felt that Laurie was pushing it. Laurie is trying to kiss her when Jo is sleeping, and Jo is like, Laurie, I need you to be my friend now, so back off. Or the moment when Laurie is trying to sit next to her and Jo is like, no, and puts a barrier between them. And this is the second one that actually has the proposal after New York. And I think that worked out pretty well. I don't know how you feel. The actor who played Laurie, I am not sure if I liked him. I don't know. I felt that he was quite stiff in the beginning. He got better as the series got on. I did like him when the series went on a little bit more. I did like some of the added scenes with him and Amy when he is visiting her at Aunt March, and they have that talk when she is like, I have these thoughts and dreams I want to do. It was a nice groundwork of what would become of their relationship.
The scriptwriter, even if they were a Jo and Laurie shipper, they managed to push their personal feelings aside, which is something that, for example, Greta Gerwig was not able to do. With Amy and Laurie, I think that was my favorite scene between the two. The whole chat they had. One of my friends said that this series has a depressed Laurie. I kind of agree with that because they tried to show him to butt heads with Jo, but then there are many scenes of him being very moody. I have very mixed feelings about it. The actor looked like the book Laurie with curly black hair. I know that Jonah Howard's ancestors are from England and Germany, as I found out. So he's not Italian like the book Laurie, but he has some physical resemblance to the book Laurie. To me, Laurie is such a complicated character, and it takes a good actor to play him. This Laurie was moody, but he wasn't that temperamental like the book Laurie. There needs to be a full range of emotions. In the proposal scene, you kind of feel more sorry for him in this series, when in the book his behavior is more disturbing.
He is somewhere between two Lauries, Peter Lawford and Christian Bale. I just find it amusing. I liked that moment when Jo is in New York and she is writing a letter and we see Marmee reading it. The part about Professor Bear, we see a shot of Laurie sitting on the ground just pounding. I found that so amusing.
Early days of this podcast, I was on YouTube looking for clips from this adaptation for a video essay, and there were so many people in the comments saying Jo and Laurie are so incredibly romantic in this version. And then maybe 1 or 2 people saying there are moments when he is kind of creepy. Once again, people pay more attention to characters' physical appearance than their behavior. I didn't get a feeling that they were very romantic in this version.
I saw a clip from behind the scenes. It was maybe the director who was a Jo and Friedrich shipper, because they talked about their relationship, and Maya Hawke said that first, when I was young, I thought that Jo should be with Laurie, but now when I am older, I got it. And when I saw it, I thought it was nice she was on board with it. I really like this Friedrich.
Hello, friends. It is Niina from the Little Woman podcast. Just to let you all know that the Little Woman podcast episode transcripts are now available as books. You can find them as paperbacks and ebooks. They are wonderful reading for all the fans of Louisa May Alcott. You can find all the links from the description. And now, back to the show.
I thought the actor did a pretty good job with it.
Oh, he was my favorite in this adaptation. Together with Meg and John, he was my favorite character. I wish we could have seen more of him.
I did like that we see him in a way we don't see him in the most adaptations. We really do see how Fritz and Joe have an intellectual connection as we see their discussion on philosophy and all that. I thought that the short time they had, there was something there that they managed to make it work.
Yes, and oh gosh, that end scene when he comes and he says that he keeps her poem next to his heart. It is so good and it is too much.
That is another one that for me shows how he is following her work. Like in the book, I like the little scene. I think you pointed it out in a post. I like the scene where when he comes to Concord and it is Amy that goes, "Don't worry, Joe, we all really like him." It definitely shows that family does like him, but it also shows how hers and Amy's relationship has progressed. Instead of them being in each other's throat, they are truly being sisters in that moment. Everybody loves your boyfriend. He is great, and I love him too, and I am glad for you.
I love that scene so much. It is just like you said. It shows how their relationship has developed, and Joe does want her family's approval for Friedrich, who she loves.
This one has the actual ending of the book, where everybody is at the picnic, out with their kids and all that. Not that even adaptations will go that far. They usually end right after Joe and Friedrich's proposal, which again, I can understand. When you are doing a movie, you may not have so much time.
It is the world's most romantic proposal.
I liked that they showed, kind of like they say in the book, this may not have been what I expected my happy ending to be, but I am still very happy with how my life turned out. It is a different castle, but I am very happy.
That is very true to Louisa May Alcott. We discussed about this earlier. She was very lonely and sick in the end of her life, even though she was a millionaire. That is what Jo wants in the first part of Little Woman. She wants money and materialistic things, but then when she grows and becomes more an adult, she realizes that those are not the things that make her happy, and she gradually changes her mind.
2017 one, where would you like to put it?
I think this one will be my 5th.
I feel like we're going to shift a little bit because of the 2018 one. I really like that version, but at the moment we have number 194, number 233, number 349, number 478, number 5, 2017, number 670. That is where we are at the moment.
I wanted to say that another thing that I like in the 2017 series is that there is a scene of Friedrich playing with the children.
It is another one that has friends and email in it. There's a moment when not only are they playing, but where he and Joe are reading a fairy tale. It is in German, and she is reading it in English after that. I always thought that was a really nice scene.
Yes. Mark Stanley was one of the youngest actors to play Friedrich. He was, I think, 28, if I remember correctly, and Friedrich is written to be 39 when Joe meets him for the first time. It is not a huge deal. I just thought it was interesting. I know a lot of people say that if you have a beard, it can make you look older.
Reading that in Maya Hawke being 18 or 19, I think that helped to make him look older. He is obviously older, but not the book age. So you can go and say she is 25 and he is in his late 30s. They managed to age them in a believable way.
I always ponder when people complain that Friedrich is an old man. In the book, he is written to be 39. I would not, in any circumstance, call that old.
My mom and I had a conversation a few weeks ago. We were talking about how some celebrity had passed away, and I was like, he was still quite young. He was in his 70s. My brother was like, is that young? And I was like, he would have still had good 20 years ahead. He could have lived to their 90s. My mom was like, I don't think it was that old. I think if you're going to be old in your 50s, me as a 28-year-old. I still see that age of starting my life. There are people who have that feeling of, if you don't have everything settled by the time when you're in your 20s, if you are in your 30s and if you are not married or have a great career, then you are a failure. And I have been taking myself out of that thought process. I am not a failure because I haven't still achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I still have many, many years to come. I don't believe in that idea that at a certain point you are considered too old for things. I don't think 40 is anywhere near old.
It is such a sweet moment in the book. Joe says to him, "Don't call yourself old. 40 is the prime of life. I would love you even if you were 70.
I love it when she says that. Here you are in the prime of your life. Very clearly, Joe, you are into older men.
We need an adaptation with that particular scene. I'm so frustrated people saying, Joe marries that old man. You cannot call him old. He's freaking 39. Just stop.
It is the same when people say Joe at 28 is an old maid. How dare you? I am 28. I don't see myself as an old maid.
No one should use the word old maid anymore. 2017 series, there are some things I would tweak about it, but definitely it is worth watching and there are some wonderful scenes there as well.